my schedule lately has been on weekends. So like when I come home, like I do yoga every single morning. Like that's how I start my days. And I definitely like set aside time to like do other things besides, my career,
Music.
anything involving my career, just having that balance and like really working on, being active, because your physical and mental health, are one and the same, So I think my yoga practice has definitely been a saving grace for me for sure. And yeah, just trying to prioritize my time, like turn my phone off or like spending time away from social media is definitely,
Yes.
and that's one thing that I struggle with the most.
I think we all struggle with
My
that.
job, like I'm supposed to be posting every day and like stories and, people show every minute of their days now, like this is me making coffee and I'm like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like some days I'll be like super inspired and whatever, but like definitely being aware of when I'm getting sucked into those things or how it's affecting me. Welcome to my empire.
How are you doing? Happy
I'm
Monday.
Good. Yeah, I had a whole day yesterday, so I totally forgot that it was Monday.
No, I don't even know what day it is anymore. I'm just like, I make my to-do list and I take it piece by piece.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I literally just go by the hour. Like Chrissy said, I just don't even know what day it is. I'm just like, wait, it's already August. Like we're already more than halfway through the year.
Yeah,
like, what's going on?
Time is a really strange thing right now.
Yeah, especially for you. You've been on the road like pretty much every weekend, or you've been going to festivals, playing shows. Like, what's that been like?
Yeah, well, it's mostly been like festival season, which is awesome. I love that about the summer. But yeah, I was trying to like finish my album while touring, which was a lot. But it's done now and I'm really happy.
I saw you. Did you post that it was mastered and everything and it's ready to go?
Yep. It's a month away. It's coming out on September 20th. So yeah, I feel like very relieved knowing
Oh my
that.
gosh. I bet. Especially the pressure of having to pull out your computer and work while you're on the road. I feel like that's so stressful.
Yeah, just like communicating with like my mastering engineer or just all the coordinating. Like I forgot how much goes into working on a bigger project like that because I've been doing singles and EPs and EPs are it's like a task too, but like this was like a 10-track album, publicist, like everything is just like a lot.
Yeah, and then scheduling out the single tracks and then the artwork and PR for all of the singles and it's just getting pre-saves and then pitching it out for, Spotify playlist editorials. Like it's just a lot.
Yeah. And even just like getting the vibe right for like the art and like finding artists to work with that, kind of like hit the spot of like what I was going for is kind of a task in itself too. But
is it going to be released as a self-release or on a label?
It's a self-release.
Amazing. Yeah, that's good. You're at a pretty good point in your career where I feel like the self-release, it will connect with all of the fans you already have, but it will also help you get new fans too.
Right. Yeah, I've done a lot of work with Westwood, who I love. And I did, the single with Odyssey with Chloe. And like early in the day with like Super Best Records, which was Michael Menard's thing. But that was more of like an artist collective. They didn't like take percentages. So it was kind of just like we'll support you.
Yeah.
Which I loved about it. But yeah, it feels good for my second album to like do it totally on my own. It feels good.
Hell yeah. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you.
We will take the pre-save link and then send it over to everyone so that they can save it because I know how much that helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye out as well. And then we'll see if any of our reporters can do a write-up of it.
Yeah, awesome.
I think we actually already might have gotten the PR pitch on that.
Okay. People are on top of it.
Someone sent us something. It might have been your recent single. It might have been the one with Moons, actually, that I'm thinking of. Yeah, which actually I was reading up on her, and you both are from CU Boulder, right?
Yeah. We figured out that we probably went to school at the exact same time. Like, I'm sure that we like hung out and like didn't even know it.
Class together, maybe.
Yeah,
like, party together.
Yes. So that was hilarious to like figure that out, because we were both kind of like in it. You know, I always cite that growing up, or like not growing up, but like as an artist, I feel like I grew up in Boulder. It's kind of like in the electronic world, at least. Just because everything was happening there, and like,
oh my gosh,
you know, I was just like super inspired by everything that was going on the Front Range and in Colorado in general. And she was the same way, you know. She collaborated with Big G and had like a photo of her.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Outside their Fox Theater, like as a child, basically, like getting their signatures, and then like years and years later, she like collaborated with them. So yeah,
full circle.
Yeah,
I actually grew up here in Lakewood. We both live in Lakewood right now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I grew up here, and then in high school, I would always go up to Boulder and go to EDM shows at the Fox and just like party on the hill and stuff. But we both actually went to Fort Collins. So, you know, we have to say go Rams.
I know.
I think we'll see you at the showdown in a couple weeks.
Yeah, totally. Meet you there.
Yeah. But
they're probably gonna beat us anyway, because our football team is just
yeah. I'm like, I pay no attention to that.
Right.
I stopped paying attention after like my sophomore year, because I was like, our team is just trash.
Yeah, you're like, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Do you still live in Boulder?
I live in Denver now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, perfect. Colorado is such a good place to live as an EDM artist. I feel like there's always people to see, shows to go to, like creative inspiration happening.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to somebody the other day, I was like, the secret is out. Like, people are just flocking here, you know, like the last couple of years. And it's always been like a hub of electronic music in general. But I feel like over the last couple of years, it's like even like people from LA are moving here. Like, they're just like, oh, this is like really chill and like progressive, and you know, everyone wants to be here for a reason. Like, people are just like trickling in, like almost like secretively. I'm like, oh, you live here now?
Right?
Like, what the hell?
So many artists are moving here. Like, I don't know if you're super into dubstep, but Odd Prophet, I don't know if you know who he is.
I don't know the name.
Okay, yeah. He does heavy bass music, but he just moved here.
Nice.
Blank just moved here too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And then Lost Heroes. They're from here though. Lost Heroes is from here. Who else?
Closey lives here.
Closey lives here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Dang.
Everyone's coming in on the secret.
Yeah, for real. I just think that people in Colorado are generally happy, and they're also really friendly too. So it's just a high quality of living.
Yeah. I mean, people come here to snowboard, they come here for the music, they come here to hike. Like, it's like a lifestyle choice. And all those things kind of like cross over at some point. So I think it's definitely, it breeds a certain type of person for sure.
Do you have any shows coming up? I think you have one in Colorado, right? At like a festival that you're playing at?
Yeah. So that one's really cool. It's a festival in Fort Collins. It's called We Are Here Fest. Cool. And it's run by a school up in Fort Collins called like Beats by Girls. So I'm headlining a festival at a new venue in Fort Collins this month. I forget. I have tour brain, so don't ask me about any dates.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool. They hit me up, and it was like fully run by women, and they do like they teach classes up there, and I want to like get more involved if I can, just in general. So
that's so cool.
Yeah,
I'm like checking it out right now. So is it a bunch of women it's all women on the lineup, it looks like?
I think they started that way, and then they added some more local support also, because I know this guy Two Scoops, who's a local DJ in Fort Collins, got added to the bill. So initially it was all women, like all of like the headliners and direct support kind of.
That's cool too, because I feel like it kind of hits closer to home. Like doing it in Fort Collins, there might be people who have met you before or seen you before. And like, even just looking at their website, it seems like part of the goal of this is to inspire young women or like little girls to get into production. So that's a really cool impact to have.
Yeah. I mean, even people will see the flyer and be like, oh, like, you know, it just, that's really cool to me. I've done a lot of like teaching and work with like inspiring females to get into the scene, because I feel like that's like part of my duty.
Yes.
You know, that's like where I am. So yeah, any way that I can get involved in things like that, or like teach, or, you know, be an example for people to get involved is awesome.
Is the show all ages? Do you know?
I have no idea.
I could look that up, but yeah, that would be cool if it was like an all ages kind of thing.
I know that it's like involved in the college campus, but
okay,
that doesn't necessarily mean anything. You know, like freshmen are not 21, but right?
Right.
Yeah.
Freshmen are like 18, 19, I think.
Yeah.
They're like 17, 18.
Yeah. They look like they're 16. I don't know.
Totally.
They look like little kids, man.
Yeah. I go up to Boulder now and I'm like, I feel old.
For real. I work at Colorado School of Mines, and I was on campus last week for all the welcome week stuff. And I was just like, these people look like they're high schoolers or younger even. Like they don't even look like they're
is that
in
what we
college.
looked like when we
right? Because I thought I looked pretty mature when I was a freshman.
We were like, okay.
Yeah. Lipstick, eyeliner. Yeah.
Never forget the days where like you'd be, well, at least me when I was in college, freshman year, like we would be walking like 40 minutes to a house party, and there would be cars driving by and yelling freshman,
yeah,
like, honking or like talking crap to you.
Always.
Like, is that obvious? Like,
like, what if I'm a sophomore? What if I'm a junior? I just don't have a car. I just feel like walking.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you've been playing a lot of shows lately, festivals. I'm curious, how do you stay sane and prioritize your mental health on the road?
It's definitely something that took a lot of practice. I'm not perfect at it by any means. But I definitely like, I tour, like my schedule lately has been on weekends. So like when I come home, like I do yoga every single morning. Like that's how I start my days. And I definitely like set aside time to like do other things besides, you know, my career, anything involving my career, you know, just having that balance and like really working on, you know, being active, because your physical and mental health, you know, are one and the same, you know. So I think my yoga practice has definitely been a saving grace for me, for sure. And yeah, just trying to prioritize my time, like turn my phone off, or like spending time away from social media is definitely, and that's one thing that I struggle with the most.
I think we all struggle with
my
that.
job, you know, like I'm supposed to be posting every day and like stories, and you know, people show every minute of their days now, you know, like this is me making coffee, and I'm like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like some days I'll be like super inspired and whatever, but like definitely being aware of when I'm getting sucked into those things or how it's affecting me. You know?
Yeah, I think like being aware of how it's affecting you is probably the hardest part, because like even just on a daily basis, like Yessie and I run a couple different social media accounts, and there's like this constant pressure to have like the trending post, or like to get a ton of comments or things like that. And I feel like when you post something and it doesn't automatically get traction, like that kind of gets in my head. I'm like, oh, what did I do wrong? Or like, oh, I should have redone this. But I think, you know, having limits on that too, like I have a 30-minute limit on Twitter and like an hour limit on Instagram. So
oh wow,
it tells me it's like 5 minutes remaining. And so I know, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's only 10 a.m. and I've already used up my limit. So, yeah.
My management team is actually really good about like reminding me that like the algorithms change all the time, and like don't get caught up in the numbers, don't get caught up in the numbers. Like they always remind me of that, because I'll be like, why did, you know, like I'll post something really important, like here's a new song,
release day,
well, and then you put a picture of yourself and it's like 1,000 likes and I'm like, God damn it.
It's always release day posts that always just do crap. Like
you're like,
the
I was
announcement,
building up to this moment for like however long.
Like there were 10 times more of you excited on Monday when I announced the song. Now where are all y'all?
And it's literally, it's like promoting thirst traps, you know what I mean? Like everyone's like, well, if I do this and then lead to that, and I'm like, oh God, it's just,
I know.
I mean, it's incredible what's happening, is because everyone has like this opportunity to be seen and heard, you know? That's like the coolest part about the time that we're living in. You know, people can get discovered on YouTube and TikTok and whatever, but it's definitely like, I remember years ago being like, damn, we're gonna live in like this like robot age where we're just like totally, you know, immersed in technology, and we're like there. We're at 100% there.
But it's cool that you have yoga as kind of like an escape, especially first things in the morning. That would help me just set a really good mood for the day, and like just be in touch with my body and know that like I'm here for myself, and everything else that's going on behind the screen like isn't really real life right now. So I like that mindset, at least.
And I'm like, you know, I'm a nocturnal human being because I tour so much. I'm just a night owl. So I was like, okay, I'm not a morning person. So if I change my habits to do something that is like rewarding to me first thing in the morning, maybe it'll like make it a little, you know, a little more fun, or like I can at least like get that out of the way. You know, some days I'm like, I don't want to work out today.
I know.
But you always feel good at the end of it. Like if you just sit down and do it, you always feel better.
That is so true. Every time I have something on my mind, or I'm like upset or in a bad mood, I just go work out. And after that, I'm like, I can take on the world.
Yeah. I always put on like, that's my like discover music time too. So I'll just like pick a different playlist on Spotify and like, you know, release radar if it's Friday, whatever. I just like let it go and discover new things, or just kind of like keep up to date on what's going on and what people are putting out. So it's kind of like my discovery time also.
Are there some women right now that you've been listening to that you think are killing it right now, that are underrated?
Some women, you said?
I know I just put you on the spotlight.
No. Okay.
Because we're all about discovering up and coming producers who don't get as much recognition that we think they deserve. So like, if there's any female producers out there that you think are just killing it right now, would love to hear them.
Yeah, I mean, these aren't necessarily like, you guys probably know who they are, but like Not Low.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's crushing it right now. Kiva.
I think we saw her at Red Rocks this summer.
Nice.
Boogie T, I think.
Nice. Yeah, her just like flow is awesome. A lot of Lily Fangs is a amazing singer, MC, kind of, she raps as well. She like freestyles. She is actually one of the guests on my album.
Cool.
She is incredible. We've worked together before, but it was really awesome to kind of work together again, like where we are now. So she's a badass. I'm always shouting her name from the rooftops. Who else? I met this awesome DJ Zuzka. She lives in Urbana. She's actually on the show that I announced today.
Oh, what did you announce?
Urbana. So I'm kind of trickling out some headline shows. Like I announced the Opio tour, and I have a bunch of festivals coming up. And then there's a bunch of dates that are announcing this weekend, next week, kind of like my headline shows this fall. So today I announced a show in Urbana at the Canopy Club.
Oh, fun.
Don't know the date.
It looks like September 19th or September 29th. So next month. Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah. So that's exciting. I'm doing like a mix of support shows and a bunch of my own headline shows this fall into winter.
And you have Lost Lands coming up next month.
I do. I'm really excited about that. So this past weekend, I actually played the same festival site.
Oh, no way.
Really?
At Legend Valley?
Secret Dreams?
Secret Dreams was at that. The dinosaurs were like there. Not
cool.
Oh, I didn't know that. Like, Secret Dreams was there.
Yeah, they were like pushed to the side, but yeah, I'm really happy that they were. You have to like clear it, obviously, because those two shows were really close together. But I've heard a lot about Lost Lands, so I'm glad that they let me do both of them.
Yeah. Is this your first time playing Lost Lands?
Yeah.
We'll be there. So
nice.
Once we find out the set times, we'll definitely make time to catch your set.
Yeah, I think I play on Sunday, but I'm not sure. Are you leaving Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. You guys are in Colorado.
Yeah. Maybe we'll come up to the Fort Collins show or something.
Yeah. I'm actually announcing my big Denver headline in September as well.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, we'll keep an eye out.
But I'm announcing it in September. So hopefully you guys can make that one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you played Lala also. What was that like? Oh my gosh, talk about a career moment.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was definitely, so the first festival I ever went to as like a patron was Lollapalooza in 2006 when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And Daft Punk was headlining.
Oh my god.
Yo, that's legendary.
Yeah, like a pyramid thing and everything. It was nuts. So my older brother took me. So that was my first festival experience ever. So coming back all these years later as an artist was like, that was like the most full circle moment I've ever had. I was just like, wow. But yeah, I mean, that festival is just like next level. Everything about it, it was just felt like a heightened experience overall. Like the stage was massive.
Oh my gosh, those photos you got were really good.
Yeah, the way that they ran it, like, and there was a company called Lala Style Suite that reached out to me, and they were like a full styling studio for free. And
cool.
Wow.
They gave me a makeup artist, they gave me a hairstylist, they gave me a bunch of clothes that were donated from different companies and just like wanted me to rock them.
They want you to feel good, look good.
Yeah, I was like, okay, can we just do this all the time?
Right, glam squad.
Yeah, like my makeup artist like touched up my makeup after I got off stage so that I could go do my interviews. I just felt like a full rock star. It was awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah, you probably won't. You won't have that at Lost Lands, unfortunately.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck at Lost Lands.
Hey, there's definitely a big difference between, that experience and a lot of the other festivals.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I didn't feel like I was playing to my fans. Lollapalooza, I felt like people just go to go.
Right.
And unless you're like a massive artist, like, you're playing for people that are going to discover you for the first time, which is not a bad thing. But there's definitely a different kind of vibe when you're playing to people that know your music.
Absolutely.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So,
you can spot the diehards.
Yes, for sure. They're usually in the front.
Right.
Is there like a festival experience you have that's been like the most memorable for like in terms of like the vibes and the crowd and just
summer camp, which
camp.
is in
I feel like I've heard of it.
Chillicothe, Illinois, I think, or Peoria, Illinois. It's kind of like, it's like 2 hours from Chicago. But
that looks cool.
Yeah, it's like, they have a lot of bands and electronic music. There's a good like mix, diversity of music on there. And it feels like this really like homegrown kind of like, I don't know. I've done it like 6 years in a row.
Holy cow.
And I've just somehow like become doctrinated. Like they have some acts that they bring back every year. That one kind of just feels like home to me because I've like grown there
with
like
the festival.
Yeah, and just like see it changing and growing, and they've been just really supportive of me forever. So, you know, my summer camp crowd is unlike any other because they get to see me year after year, and people go every year. So yeah, it's a pretty cool one.
Yeah, I see that they have a really diverse lineup. I mean, they got like Mala, and then obviously Liquid Stranger, Humphreys McGee. Like, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, they kind of like, they do a really good job of pulling from each kind of like sector of the music industry.
Well, we did get a submitted question. Live Vibe Music is wondering if performing live on TV at Lollapalooza changed your approach or your strategy to the set list, like knowing that beforehand.
Oh, interesting. So I definitely strategically thought about my set for that festival in general. Kind of back to what we were just talking about, is like, I'm playing for people primarily that don't know me.
Right.
So I definitely threw in some like remixes. You know, you gotta like
the sing-alongs.
Hit them with some nostalgia, and reel them in so that you can play some of your original stuff that, you know, might be unfamiliar. So I definitely threw in some remixes, my own remixes of songs, like a Alt J one, Billie Eilish.
Oh, fun.
Manic Focus lent me his drum and bass remix of a Fuji song that goes into I Got Five on it.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
So
Classic
I definitely
song.
it's classics. But so that was part of it for sure. And I only had 45 minutes. So I definitely wanted to like showcase, you know, my favorite songs, my most popular ones, mixed with some remixes. But also play some new stuff too.
Yeah.
I was trying to like cover all of those bases.
Which give them a little tease of your upcoming LP, you know?
Yeah. And it was more so, it wasn't about the TV thing. But I guess that kind of ties into the crowd, you know, people that are watching are not going to know who I am either. So it was just the audience overall, you know, how do I make them get my vibe just in general?
Yeah. Or like leave them wanting more.
Yeah. In that 45 minutes, how do I like say who I am? And this is my music. This is a first impression.
Yeah. It's like a 45-minute elevator pitch almost.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Which 45 minutes is still like kind of short in the grand scheme of sets, at least.
Yeah. I'm not used to that. It's usually like an hour at least at a festival, and that's perfect. 75 is kind of like the sweet spot for me.
Can we find the set anywhere online?
Yeah, it's actually on YouTube.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, hell yeah.
I haven't even watched it because I don't know myself.
Yeah.
I know what I'll be blasting after this.
Right.
I'll like get back into work mode.
Yeah.
We both work full-time jobs, so this is like our lunch break.
Oh,
at least we can work from home, so then we can like, you know, take a step away from work and then do stuff that we love, which is this.
Yeah. Bunch of hustlers over here.
Right. Hey, you got it nowadays. It's all about being 1% better every day in the person you were. So.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we'll have to link up sometime too in Denver since
we're all
in the area.
I had no idea you guys were local.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, I completely forgot you were local too, to be honest.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, Colorado.
New friends.
Yes.
And I think this is the first time that I'm on a call with two natives and I'm the only one that's not.
Well, I'm not native.
Oh, you're not? So
for the record.
Yeah, I grew up, not claiming it. I grew up in St. Louis, and then I moved to Boulder to go to CU in 2008. So I've been here.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been here for a long time, but I'm not like, I cannot technically claim the nativeness.
You're grandfathered in though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's how I like to think of it.
Yeah. As a true native, I will grandfather you into being a native.
Thank you.
Yes, he's an implant though.
Hey, I've been here for 8 years now. Okay. I feel like I kind of deserve that.
You're almost there.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
Like a 10-year mark or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Honorable native.
We're making up the rules right now too.
Right.
Exactly. Well, is there any other upcoming music or anything that you can spill other than your LP? Or just gonna take a break from there and just anything that you can spill?
I mean, the album comes out September 20th, so obviously that's a big one. I'm still working on music kind of in the background. But once fall starts, it's kind of like full speed ahead with shows. Definitely for anyone watching, keep an eye out on my website, MaddyO'NealMusic.com, for all these dates that I'm going to announce, or, you know, any social platform they'll be posted. But yeah, I still have like a bunch of tour dates to announce. So hopefully I will be hitting your city or near you.
Any New Year's shows locked in yet?
We're talking about some.
Cool.
I don't have anything locked in yet.
Yeah,
but
can't say it, but maybe
yeah,
something.
We're already working on like next year plans too, which it always like blows me away, like how early that starts.
You're like 10 months ahead.
Yeah, I'm like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, bunch of new music. It's a 10-track album called Ricochet, and I will be posting the pre-save link this week. And rolling all of that out. I'm so excited to get this album out. I think it's the best work that I've ever done, so that's really exciting.
Yay. Well, we can't wait to hear it. Like you said, we'll support it from DUBSTEP FBI and help spread the word too. So.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Oh, and we're also working on a potential remix album.
Oh wow.
Record too. Or maybe I'll make some like VIP edits and stuff for live. You know, there's some chiller tracks, there's some bangers, there's some cruisers. So I definitely want to make some more like live friendly versions, which is also a challenge, but it's always fun.
The remix albums are always fun because then you can loop in people who are outside of your subgenre, like outside of your niche, and just get the full spectrum. Like maybe it's like future based, but then, you know, a hard style artist comes in and remixes it. Like that's sick.
Right.
So.
It's like the coolest thing ever to like give someone stems and just be like, thing, you know,
run with it. Yeah.
How they interpret all of those pieces. It's always super fun. So that's definitely the goal, is to kind of like pull in some people that like from all over the board and see what happens.
Oh, fun.
That'll be fun, and that'll follow the record probably a couple months after.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Well, we have a lightning round. We've got 6 or 7 questions for you.
Okay.
We like to just kind of run through these pretty quickly. Yessie and I will switch off, but they're usually like 1 or 2 word answers. But we just like to have fun with them. So I'll go ahead and get started. What are your must-haves in the studio?
A drum pad of some sort, just in general, a MIDI keyboard, and a microphone.
I'll take it. Big 3.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. All right. Dream festival to play at.
Ooh, Shambhala has always been on my list. I was booked for it in 2020.
No, rest in peace.
The 1 year that they didn't happen. So hopefully I'll be back. But yeah, that's always been big on my list for sure.
Yeah, I was actually surprised not to see you on this year's lineup, because that's like totally your vibe.
Yeah. Hoping for next year. We're working on it. Also, Envision is one that I would love to do. Also, any time I can play on a beach, sign me up.
Oh my gosh, for real.
Yeah.
Who are your biggest mentors?
Mentors. So I kind of like taught myself pretty much everything I know, just like from YouTube. But when I first started making music, like the people that I hung out with the most and that like we shared ideas back and forth was like Michael Menner, Late Night Radio, and like that whole crew. So definitely those were the first people that, you know, we would come over to each other's houses and be like, look what I learned today, or like, check out this song, give me your feedback. So that was some really cool relationships that I had in the beginning. Alicia was kind of the first female producer that I had met. I was like, oh my God, we exist, you know.
A unicorn.
Yeah. So she was definitely like a mentor in terms of like showing me that being a female in this world was, you know, a thing. It was possible, you know, like just knowing somebody else that was doing it. So that was cool.
I love that. Is Michael Menert still putting music out?
Yeah. He actually he moved to Northern California and he was engineering records for Mickey Hart.
Okay.
Grateful Dead.
Wow, good for him.
So he like disappeared for a couple of years and was like fully immersed in that project. But he just moved back to Colorado and is kind of like announcing tours and putting out a bunch of music and kind of like getting back into focusing on his own career. As cool of an experience as that was, I think he like, you know, he missed being himself. In it.
Yeah, his music was some of the stuff that I would it kind of got me through my first few years at CSU, honestly. It was like a playlist of his stuff and just a bunch of other people, similar sounds, but he was the one name that I remember.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, Michael and Derek, Pretty Lights, both were Fort Collins. That's like where they came out of. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to a lot of Bass Physics as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He's a homie of mine. He's in Denver, I think, too.
Cool.
Who isn't in Denver?
I know. We should have like a big meetup.
The list is shorter if we talk about who doesn't live here.
Seriously.
Literally. Like, let's all have like an industry meetup.
Yeah, I'm down.
That would be fun. All right, next one. What are 3 words to describe yourself?
Oh,
3 words you would use.
We're in a job interview right now.
Yeah. Wow.
You're under investigation, so you have no choice, but we'll let you go after these questions.
Creative. That sounds generic, but you know, my whole life revolves around that. I'm very empathetic. I'm kind of like the person that people come to when they have like shit to talk about because I'm like a really good listener.
Have that.
And this is 2 words, but I'm gonna say adventure seeker.
Oh yeah. Okay, I relate to
the dash in between.
Yeah. How could you not be? If you live in Colorado, how could you not be an adventure seeker?
Yes. I mean, just everything I do is like, I thrive in like chaotic environments in a way too. Like, I mean, I love touring and just like everything about the lifestyle that I've chosen. So, you know, it's kind of unpredictable and I like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, is there any country that you haven't played in that you're dying to play in?
I've never been to Europe in general.
Oh, wow.
I would love to go there. I played in Bangkok, but that's the only place outside of the United States, I think.
That's crazy.
I played in Canada, but
What were you doing in Bangkok? Where was that? Like what festival?
It was called the Bangkok Block Party.
Okay, sounds wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I did a tour with Cherub back in 2018. It was a 3-month-long tour on a bus.
Oh my gosh.
It's like the craziest 3 months of my entire life.
Yeah, that's that adventure seeking.
Yeah, totally.
That's wild.
But those guys became like some of my best friends and they go to Bangkok like every year. Actually, one of them just moved there. But they have just roots there and they're like famous there. And they started this Bangkok Block Party with a buddy of theirs, Brent James, who kind of lives there full time at this point. So they put together this whole thing with some of the other local venues and promoters there. And they booked, you know, me and Paper Diamond and who who else was on it that year? I'm blanking on their name. But yeah, it was a bunch of people that they brought over from the US, and it was like the coolest experience I've ever had. Like we just stayed for like a week too and just like romped around. So yeah, that was my big international show experience.
That's sick.
Yeah.
When I went to Bangkok back in 2019, I went for Songkran. Have you heard of that? Songkran?
No.
It's like their New Year's festival, and how they celebrate is everyone has water guns, and it's like a water festival.
I have heard of this.
Yeah. It's literally like a water festival. And it was crazy because when I first arrived, it was the first day that it had started. And like I knew this going into it, and like I had tickets to a festival. It was called like S2O Festival.
Yeah.
And like Tiesto was playing there, and Steve Aoki and TJR, like a bunch of big room artists.
Yeah.
And literally, unless you got a cab, there is no way of avoiding you getting sprayed with water. Like,
oh my God,
like straight off the plane. People literally, like, you'd be at a stoplight and people would like dump buckets of water at you, or like spray water guns at you, and like it was crazy.
Oh my God.
It was like a once in a lifetime experience, but there was points where I was like, I literally took so long to get ready and look cute, and you just dumped all this water on me. Like I would get so pissed. So, like I tried to not get so pissed sometimes, because like little kids would do it to me because they knew I was a tourist. So I feel like they were just targeting me, and they would just laugh, and their family would be with them and they would just laugh. And I'm just like, you mother.
Oh my God. Yeah, I definitely heard about that while I was there. That is hilarious. Holy shit.
Yeah, cool experience. But
yeah, it's a fun place to be in general. Like just Thailand is amazing. It like blew my brain.
Same here.
Yeah.
No, but Europe would be really cool. You would love Europe. Yeah.
That's big on my list.
All right. Well, last question on this lightning round.
Yeah.
What is your pre-show routine?
I take a shot of tequila, and
send it.
Yeah, you gotta shake the nerves off. And it's really funny to say, but I do like high kicks in the green room.
Oh wow. Like you jump and like smack your feet together, or what?
Not quite. No, you just try to get the blood flowing, so you just kind of like
okay. I got you.
Yeah, just like kick your legs in the air. So it's kind of like, it's like doing a jumping jack, but one leg at a time, you know?
Yeah. It's like, some other artists we've talked to, like they'll say they'll do push-ups in the green room.
Or stretch.
Or stretch.
Yeah, get the blood flowing, kind of like, you know, like when dogs are like, I just found this out, which is, I don't know how I didn't know this, but when dogs are like shaking off stress, like that's when they do that.
Oh, I thought it was just to get rid of water.
No, like if a dog comes, if they're not wet, you know, dogs like shake off, and they're just shaking off the stress and like going into the next thing. So if you just move your body and just shake off the stress.
I need to do that every morning before my 9 a.m. calls.
Shake it like a dog.
Shake it all off. Tequila's a good drink choice though. That's like my go-to.
Yep. It's like a shot of espresso.
Yeah, a shot of confidence.
Yes.
Cool. Well, that's our last question for you. Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you want everyone to know?
No, I mean, like I literally have like a 1-track mind right now, getting this record out and wanting as many people to hear it as possible. So if you see the pre-save go up, and a lot of people don't know this, but the pre-save really, really helps an artist, you know, like the more pre-saves you have on the back end, it feeds the algorithm that runs our life. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it really helps an artist if you pre-save it to get on editorial playlists and all of the things. Plus you'll get notified as soon as it comes out, which is a bonus. So yeah, just pay attention to that. Can't wait for everyone to hear the new music, and hopefully I will see most of you on the road this fall. I'm hitting a lot of cities, so I'm excited to be back like fully touring again. It feels good after the last couple of years we had.
Especially right after your album comes out.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna feel like free, and I'll get to play all the music for the first time, and yeah, it's gonna be really fun.